Orks leave to play. Mini War Gaming's Beat Map Batrep.
Welcome back to Beat Map Batrep, episode 16, Orks vs. Necrons, Necrons Turn 5. The Ghost Arks continue to move up to try to get to rapid-fire positions to try to get as many kill points as they can. Moving into difficult terrain does not make a dangerous terrain roll, or does not fail it, so he's fine. Rapid-firing into the Ludas, finally getting into range of them, wipes out that squad in one turn. Long-range firing from the other side of the Ghost Ark manages to inflict a couple of wounds, and he actually fails to save both of those cover saves, or fails to make both of those cover saves. Other Ghost Ark broadsides into the Burnas, one wound, and actually manages to get through and kill one of them. And then the occupants rapid fire into the Orc boys who are sitting right there. And don't roll quite as well as I'd like, but do manage to kill all except the Knob and one of the boys. Then we roll to see if they run, and they actually do run. So they're not a kill point till they're off the board, but you know, they're running, so that's good. At least they're not going to be able to help out in any close combats, although they can keep shooting. He is pretty far away from the end. We're in turn 5, which could be the last turn, so it's really hard to tell. And at this point, we have the close combat against Zagstruck, and manage to, let's see what happens right here. I believe that means, yes, Zagstruck was finally destroyed. So going into Orks Turn 5, he's starting to trail behind, and the momentum of his charge is not getting through, but his Deathcopters do manage to hit and run, and they're going to drop their 2 bombs. They did pay for that upgrade, so he's going to use it onto the Scarab Swarms. The first one scatters and actually misses completely. They only scatter 1d6, and yet they both manage to scatter pretty far. This one scatters as well, but still manages to nick the one Scarab Swarm, but does no damage, so unfortunately that didn't do anything. And the other guys are getting in position to try to do as much damage as possible. And then he only rolls a 3 for those guys running away. The Burner Boys run at the same time. They're still far away from the fight. I kept backing up so that they would not be able to join in until the very end, because I need to piecemeal him. Hitting the rear armor, misses, but they're twin-linked, and misses again, so the one easy shot he had against that, unfortunately the dice were not with him. However, the guns from the bikers managed to do 3 wounds, but I did save all 3 of them. Then the charges commence, trying to be careful not to get to too many of the Scarab Swarms, or into the Mineshackle Scarabs, but Trazian still does get into base contact with the War Boss. Going up against the vehicle, he only manages to destroy a weapon in close combat. Now we have the Mineshackle Scarabs. The War Boss fails his Mineshackle Scarab test, so he's going to be attacking his own unit. The other one actually makes it, so the War Boss, this is going to be after all the attacks, so everybody's attacking first. And they managed to inflict 1 wound on the War Boss, and then against the regular Knob Biker, they only managed 1 hit. They do manage to wound, and he saves it just fine. Now the War Boss hits his own unit 3 times, and actually manages 3 wounds in total. He does have invulnerable saves though, but does kill the other Knob Biker and wound himself. The other Knob Biker still gets to attack us, it's the same initiative, and does manage to kill 2 of the Immortals, even though he was dying. But he did lose. But he does make his leadership test. Neither of the Immortals come back. I don't think any of them come back the entire game, but I guess I can't complain with the way the game is going. End of round 5 in total. You can see the Orcs' momentum has been stopped, but the Burner Boys are still there to do some damage. And he's got those 2 groups still alive, not giving me any kill points, and the Deathcopters are still alive. So right now I believe he's in the lead a little bit, 4 kill points. Going into Necrons Turn 6, we actually rolled and the game did continue. Scarab Swarms moving up to engage the Deathcopters, the Ghost Ark moving around to get ready to rapid fire the one Knob, and then the other Ghost Ark moving to try to get rid of the other Knob squad right there, or that not Knob squad, the Knob and the regular guy. Rapid firing at the occupants into the Deathcopters, manages a lot of hits, but unfortunately the wounds roll is really, really bad. Only managed to inflict 3 wounds, which does take down 3 out of 4 of the wounds left in that group. The other broadside goes into the last 2 guys. Does manage to kill them, but then we realize that he actually has a 4+ save as he did upgrade his armor, so he gets to roll that armor save and put him back. So still no kill point right there. And then firing at the other one, who's all by himself, completely whiffs, only managed to get 1 wound, and he makes that save. So the other side then rapid fires into the Burner Boys, and trying to do lots of damage, but once again whiffs the roll really bad, only manages to kill 3 of them. Deathcopter then gets to fight against the Scarab Swarms, managing 1 wound, which I do fail, so it does kill Scarab Swarm, who still gets to attack this turn. So we have 10 attacks in total. We do get a few hits, and looks like 3 wounds, or 2 wounds there, and he fails that last one, and he does go down. Actually, that was 1 wound. It's on a 6 that he wounds, but he failed that save. Then going into the fight against the War Boss, I believe here he makes his Mind Shackle Scarab roll, but then I do manage to kill him. Just a good old-fashioned way of smacking him down with a War Scythe from the Necron Lord. Going into Orks Turn 6, he does have the Burner Boy still alive, and he does have this the one knob still alive, so he wants to try to do some damage with that. So the Burner Boys move up, getting ready. He's not going to shoot at them. He's going to use their power weapons. The other knob moves up and tries to get into cover as well. And the shooting doesn't do anything, and so he just charges into close combat. He does get the initiative bonus. But Mind Shackle Scarabs fails one of them. There's 2 of them in this group, and he fails the other one. So 2 of the Burner Boys are going to attack themselves, and he actually manages to hit 5 attacks on himself and kills 4 of his own Burner Boys, who still get to attack. It's the same initiative, but that does count towards combat resolution, so that's pretty harsh. So attacking Trazine first, manages some good solid hits, and only manages 1 wound though. It does ignore armor. And then he gets to hit all the other immortals and manages to wipe out the entire squad. So that's a kill point for him, as Trazine is an independent character. Hitting back with Trazine, I do manage to actually cause 1 wound, which means the Emphatic Obliterator hits all the other ones on a 4+, which causes another 2 wounds. So despite him wiping out all the immortals, he does actually lose combat, but he makes his leadership, and he's just fine there. But he did lose a lot of his guys. So end of round 6. We have the Knob who, the Knob fails his leadership and runs out of that combat. And the Ghost Arks are still alive, full with their payloads, so this is not looking very good for the Orks. The 2 Knobs are now fleeing, but I still don't get kill points until they are dead. And then we got all the Burner Boys and the big mech surrounding Trazine. So the one Ghost Ark moves to the rapid fire range of the one Knob, the other one moves to rapid fire range of the other Knob. Rapid fire into them with all the occupants. You can probably guess what's going to happen here, as it's just too many shots for him to take. Even with his armor saves of 4+, he does go down, so that's another kill point. Rapid fire into the other Knob as well. Same idea, tons of guys inside, plus the broadside of the vehicle. Does manage to kill that Knob as well. Then Trazine gets to Mind Shackle Scarab, and he does fail it. Hits his own guys 3 times and manages to kill one of them. Trazine actually doesn't do any damage whatsoever, but they also whiff against Trazine and don't manage to hurt him at all. So they lose combat by 1, and they fail their leadership. Then on top of that, when we roll initiatives, I actually managed to overrun him with Trazine, which means every last Ork has been destroyed. So that is a Necron victory.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed that battle report. I don't think a game could be much closer than that, although I guess there was the games where on a 4+, one player would win and the other one would lose.
Much more exciting this way.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting. Definitely learned a lot. I think that's the first time I played against Orks with my Necrons in a regular game. I played an Apocalypse game against them, but that doesn't really count. You don't get a good feel for it. But that was a tough fight, I have to say.
It was.
So thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you.
We're still going to give Fraser a consolation prize. He'll get $10 in points to our online store. So he's not going to walk away with nothing. That'll pay for your gas from here to about a mile down the road.
St. Catharines.
To St. Catharines, yeah. I hope that you enjoyed this. Make sure you leave your comments below on how you think the game went and how it could have gone differently. And of course, if you're a Vault member, stay tuned for the post-game show where we're going to talk about the tactics from the game. This is Matthew from Mini Wargaming. Stay tuned for more battle reports, and happy wargaming.